Okay, so welcome to episode 3 of this disassembly, and albeit the engine doesn't really look much different than it did when I left it off in episode 2, in the meantime, I have been trying to disconnect this fuel connector to the actual fuel rail. Normally, it is done by simply taking this plastic retainer clip off, by just basically pulling it off, and then pushing this clip into it, and then it disconnects super easy. But the issue is that I forgot to relieve fuel pressure before taking all of this apart. And so since there is still active fuel pressure behind this, this part is not coming off. And no matter what I've tried so far, it has not been able to come off or even really make any progress at coming off. So, fortunately, that's just going to have to stay there. Now, another thing that I've been doing is that both of these headlights have been taken out. While in the meantime, between filming this episode and finishing off the last one, I decided to take a look at that headlight, and that one ended up being broken. It was a brake that was not fixable, and basically the headlight is scrap. What happened was that there is a little motor on the inside of the headlight that moves back and forth, which controls how the light looks. That little plastic clip snapped, and it was not holding anything, and it basically meant that the headlight was always facing down instead of either straight forward or up. So I'm going to have to order a whole new headlight for this side. And while doing that, I decided to take a look at this one. Now this headlight did work, and everything on it seems fine. It's working and is, as far as I can tell, functional. The only thing, however, that I found out when taking this headlight out is that, one, this little clip or this little plastic junction on here is not over here. I didn't take this out of here, and it was not on the headlight, which means this whole bracket that is found, or this whole bracket, I need to order as well. Now, that adds more complexity to this, as not only one do I have to find just that little plastic bit, but I also have to find screws and other fasteners in order to put it onto this side of the car. But that's a problem for a different day. Back over here with the engine, the next step is to begin taking apart the valve covers off, is to take the Valvetronic base plate and connector basically apart. This is done by taking apart these 4 Torx screws and then basically just picking it off and moving it. Then after that, there are numerous ones of these little bolts where I've loosened this one from the block, and as you can see, when trying to take them out, they do not come out. And I can tell you from, as I have a new one over here, which is this, that is completely normal. They are not meant to come out. Well, they aren't supposed to come out. And these ones down here, I can barely even get to move. This is straight out of the box and I've tightened none of these, I've done nothing to any of these, and this is literally just what you get when you order from what I got. I will post a link in the description of what I bought and where I bought it from. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do use their products, and yeah. But overall, this is exactly what the part will look like when you take it out. The next step towards taking the ones out of the car is to take the Valvetronic wiring bracket, whatever it's called, out of this little groove. As you can see, there are retaining clips on here that you need to pop it out of in order to actually get it out. There is one there, and then one there on that one, and then same for that one. This one is just a bottom one. After you do that, you can then take the old one and install all of the hardware onto this one, and then install it again. That will fix the issue of either this being cracked, or, as this one has already pre-installed, if the gasket failed, which, funnily enough, both of those happened on this car. And funnily enough, this valve cover gasket is cracked, and this one, the gasket failed. So I need to replace both of them for an issue that could affect either one of them. But I digress. Okay, I got the valve cover off, and this is what it looks like underneath. I wasn't able to get very good video of getting it off because everything was either super deep down here where you wouldn't have been able to see it, or it was just pretty typical stuff such as taking spark plugs out, ignition coils out, all of that. But what I will be able to record is the transfer of items from the old one, which is this one, onto the new one that I have. And another thing is that on the one that came out, here are all of the ignition coil seats, and these are required to have to go in or back in again. These will need to be cleaned, as while taking it apart they were filled, well, not really filled, but covered in oil, and various other little things are all over them. But with the driver's side out, I will transfer the parts from that one onto here, and then take that and install it right back into there. And then once I have this side done, then I'll start on the passenger side. One other quick note is that not all of these bolts are the same, and there is, or at least from what I could find, an installation procedure or a step-by-step procedure of which bolt goes first when installing it again, so that you can make sure the gasket fits right. I will have to find that and then go through it, which I will be recording as well. But on this one, there are some of the bolts where they are long like this and they wouldn't come out. And then there are other ones which are like these, where they are just little seats that come all the way out. That is for all four of these, and then all four of these. This back one is just like the ones up front, where it doesn't completely come out. So now starts the next step of the process, where I'll transfer these over, install it back, and then start on the passenger side. And then once that's done, then more stuff can be put back together, and then the coolant transfer pipe needs to be tested. Okay, so I have just found out that I'm going to have to end the video here rather than being able to install that and everything around that onto here. The reason for this is that these spark plug tubes, which there's the part number if anyone needs it, are bad. And if I were to put them back in again, they would just simply fill up with oil and would flood the spark plug, which is not good. Now we have determined how these are bad by sticking them in to the little slots down here, this one, and what they are supposed to do is stick into there and then basically sit like that. But instead, they fall down and drop, which means that this rubber end has solidified and is no longer good. That also means that every single one of these, all four of them, need to be replaced and need to be dealt with. That is also going to be another concern on the other side, as if this side is bad, then that side is also bad, or could also be bad. So that is going to have to be the end of this episode. So thank you for watching this episode, even though not a whole lot really got done, other than just getting this top done or off. But still, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all of that. Have a good day.